shameful. out. A true noble? Need something. This one? You're all set. This one? You're all set. See you again soon.
Been told that your house won the White Heron Cup. This can only be a result of the students' talent and effort, not to mention your steadfast instruction.
That's, Professor. Hello, Professor. You seem to be in good health. Of course. Doesn't seem intimidated. No, not at all. It's just that I find myself a little concerned for your well-being. You see, Lady Edelgard has taken something of an interest in you. Don't be flippant. There is something you need to understand about the role I play here. One of my many duties is to determine potential advantages and potential threats to Her Highness. If you prove yourself useful to Lady Edelgard, then all will be well. If you pose a threat, I shall have to dispose of you. This is no joke. While I may be a student here, I am her servant first and foremost. Therefore, if an untimely demise is not to your liking, you would do well to demonstrate your utility with all haste. I should warn you that I am far less compromising than Lady Edelgard. Do not be at ease merely because you stand in her good graces for the time being. Ah, such confidence. I'm beginning to see why you caught her eye. My family, House Vestra, has been sworn to House Resmelg for generations. Since the dawn of the Empire, we have worked to protect the Emperor by any means necessary. If you incur our wrath, you will see just what I mean.
We did it! I couldn't be happier, Professor. I loved dancing in front of an audience again. Excuse me, Professor. May I have a moment of your time? Ah, wonderful. I was hoping you might enlighten me. About you see, I happen to be quite curious about you. Well, because there is something different about you. You possess an air of mystery. I could not help but notice when first we met. I am intrigued, to say the least. I find it rather difficult to put into words. Were I to wax poetic, I would say you remind me of the sea. Have you ever been, Professor? The sea is vast, boundless. On the surface, all seems still. Yet beneath that stillness, it is unfathomably deep. Within, it teems with life. Yet without, one is lucky to glimpse a fleeting shadow. And yet, all one must do is cast a line to grasp hold of all that life. You cannot see it at a glance, but it is there all the same. About fish, of course. Oh, bother. I got sidetracked, didn't I? Right during a storm, the once calm waters become mighty enough to overturn even the vastest ships. Not unlike you. You are calm. You carry yourself with poise. Yet you wield great power. My brother was uncertain of you at first. He once referred to you as a youth of dubious origin. Oh, but please do not think ill of him. He is incredibly dedicated to his work. So surely you understand why he would have doubts about one of whom he knows so little. Nobody even seems to know your age. Incidentally, aha! I suspect that if you choose not to say, you must be quite young. Looking at you, it is quite difficult for me to determine. I wonder, could you be younger than your own students? Who? Me?
Be that as it may, it is simply not the case. Oh, by the way, you should know I had actually been considering enrolling in the academy for a while. I have endured hard times, but I am so grateful that those very experiences led to my acceptance at the academy. Oh, my apologies. I am sure you have much work to do. We must speak again sometime, if that would be all.
We've come such a long way. After all, I was only 4 years old when we first met.
From your perfect memory, Lady Edelgard, I expect nothing short of the utmost precision. Do go.
Please don't mock me with such frivolous praise. I can hardly recall that day.
Forgive me. I suppose I must have been 6 at the time. I have no recollection of it. My earliest memory of you is of when you were injured. I recall being scolded most sternly by my father. You are Lady Edelgard's servant, he said. You must protect her with your life.
I had no idea. But House Vestra has served House Resfeld for generations. Given that, I suppose I shouldn't be surprised.
Indeed. After that, I made certain to accompany you wherever you went. That is, until the incident.
Ah, when my uncle, Lord Arundel, defected to the kingdom and took me with him.
The sensation of loss that overcame me on that day defies all description. It was as horrific as if I'd lost all my limbs. I left the city in a mad rush to rescue you. My father sent soldiers to capture me. I fought them off for 3 days, but they did finally manage it. Of course, I was only 10. I never would have reached Ferdiad.
I've never heard that story before. So there are things you've never told me.
It wasn't important.
That's beside the point. I wish to know these things. If there's anything else you're keeping from me, please tell me at once.
Respectfully, I decline.
Why? It's a simple order. I really must...
Speaking of your orders, there was a task you gave me earlier which I have yet to carry out.
Wait just a moment. I just hope he's not hiding anything too worrisome.
Hubert?
Yes?
I wanted to thank you for the other day. You know, when I fainted. Thank you for carrying me back to my room.
That was nothing. It saved me effort in the long run. Leaving you there would have just caused even more trouble.
I guess that's true. Well, thanks. There, I said it, and now I'm going.
Is this why you've been circling me like a vulture for the last several hours?
Vulture's a bit... Well, yes.
Yet you would have fled if I approached. It seems you will avoid me at almost any cost.
Well, that...
You don't need to say it. I know. I'm frightening. I'm told so often.
Please don't laugh like that!
Apologies. I will be mindful not to laugh in your presence from now on.
The grin of death itself! It's terrifying!
You think so?
Oh no, now you're angry too!
Hardly. I'm sorry to have frightened you.
No, you're not! It's a trick! You're lulling me into a false sense of security! I can't stand it!
She's a lost cause.
Oh, I want to kill him so bad.
to show my face to Lady Edelgard after this.
That's what you get, Hubert. If you rested like me, you wouldn't collapse from exhaustion.
As much as it pains me to say it, you're right. But to be looked after, by you of all people, that might be the worst part of this. I don't know how to feel, to be honest. So for now, let's pretend I thanked you.
Oh, come now. Even I wouldn't abandon someone who collapsed.
You would have in a heartbeat if anyone else had been around.
Ah, yes. Quite accurate, Hubert. Why would I ever bother to be a decent person if there were anyone else I could foist the duty upon? If your situation turned bad, it would have been an absolute hassle. I could never just leave you there.
If that were the sort of man you truly were, we could never be friends.
But if we weren't friends, I probably would have just left you.
Shame you're so reluctant to do any real work. You're actually pretty good at this. Made sure I was comfortable, checked carefully for injuries, even carried me here yourself. If only you'd applied that knowledge of yours so proactively and thoroughly all the time, you'd be a tremendous asset to the Empire.
There you go again. I see no problem with staying just the way I am. Think of it this way. In an anthill, 20% of the ants are asleep at any given time. And it's not because they're lazy. Far from it. When the working ants become tired, they go to sleep and the others wake up. That's me. I'm the ant who rests so I can work later when other people are tired.
Maybe that's true. But even if it is, it's still just a fancy way to say you let others do all the work. Consider me unconvinced.
I'll consider you a bother and leave it at that. You and Edelgard work far too hard. I mean it. Take a break now and then. If you both collapsed, I think it'd be too much effort for me to bother with. Get some rest, Hubert. Not as much as me, of course.
Fine.
Linhard, at least try to do some training. Use a staff, or a rod, or a broom, for all I care.
My apologies, but I cannot train right now. I have plans for later and don't wish to tire myself. Caspar invited me to train with him, you see.
You slept through the whole debate, didn't you? Fine. I'll summarize it for you.
Not the whole debate. I closed my eyes only after I knew what reading would cover the topic.
There you are. Don't tell me you were sneaking out to do some training.
Of course not. I was sneaking out to avoid you. How did you find me this time?
A mere coincidence. Why would you wish to hide from me?
Because you're an awful nuisance? Why do you pester me so?
To ensure that your talent is not wasted due to your lack of...
It's none of your business how I spend my time or how I use my talent. Have you assumed the role of my mother? You overplay the part. She was only half as overbearing.
What is the matter with you? As house leader, I'm trying to prevent you from causing trouble for yourself and our classmates.
Fine, I'll try harder. Really. I'm sure you see all this as my interfering with your duty as a leader. Have you considered how it feels for those of us who serve below you? You are a serious pain, you know.
How so?
You're like a mother who insists on accompanying her son to his own knighting ceremony.
That's taking it a bit far, don't you think?
No, I'd say that it's putting it lightly. All your interfering is greatly hindering my research.
I see. Very well. You've made your perspective perfectly clear.
You were rather quiet in the last battle, Caspar. Not a single war cry to be heard. It was almost as if you weren't even there.
I did it just for you, Hubert. Isn't that what you wanted? Weren't you the one who said my shouting would cause problems?
Yes, I was. And at the time, you seemed intent on ignoring my advice.
Well, that was then. Recently, my behavior caused trouble, just like you said it would. I was shouting the other day and some enemies heard. I pretty much gave our position away and left us open to attack. I mean, it turned out fine in the end, but someone could have died if things had played out differently. Anyway, I did some self-reflecting and realized that I probably shouldn't shout so much. A decision that I'm proud to say I came to all on my own.
All on your own, huh? It was a bad decision. Being too quiet on the battlefield is extremely dangerous.
I'm sorry, what? That's the exact opposite of what you said before.
Having seen you fight in silence, I have no choice but to accept the truth that your shouting is vital.
What in the world are you talking about?
We've all grown used to the way you fight. Your battle cries help morale, and your instructions rise above the din of battle. I would go so far as to say that the soldiers under your command would be lost without the guidance of your booming voice.
I really don't get you, Hubert.
You inspire people. The benefits of your shouting outweigh the risks. Something wrong?
If you want me to shout, then I'm gonna shout! I'm not even gonna think about it! I knew you'd come around!
Don't get too excited. You'll be ambushed again.
Then I guess I'm gonna have to fight some guys while shouting!
That might have been the wrong approach. Ah, well. No cure for stupidity. I suppose I'll just have to rein him in myself.
Hey there, Hubie. I've been thinking about our conversation the other day, and I've just got to know, do you really love Adie?
If it's one or the other, I suppose it would be closer to love than to hate. What?
Ah, I knew it! That's why you work so hard for Adie. Oh, Hubie, I finally get you. You're just another servant suffering from unrequited love for their mistress.
You completely misunderstand unrequited love. Do I really look like the kind of drooling simpleton to have that kind of motivation?
I'd like to say yes, but I know you just argue. Fine, Hubie. Tell me your situation.
My situation is simple. I am walking a path.
Oh, do go on.
Everyone has a path in life. Lady Edelgard has shown me mine. It is just beside her own. So we walk together side by side. We stride ever forward, yielding to nothing and to no one.
So, you're sharing the same dream?
Bluntly, yes. But it's more than just a shared dream. I have many feelings toward Lady Edelgard. Gratitude, respect, awe, empathy, trust, hope.
Okay. I was teasing you, but I gotta say I'm just a little bit jealous of you and Adie. That you're able to embrace these feelings and stride forward along the same path. You're lucky, Hubie. I don't know if I'll ever get the chance to experience anything so utterly operatic.
Why not?
Because I figure the best quality in a partner would be that they make me happy. And loving another is really about wanting to be loved. I'm pretty sure that's different from how things are with you and Adie.
suggest vermilion instead?
Vermilion? I know, I see it. Don't have to say it.
I said nothing about your talent. I simply suggested vermilion over crimson. Do you know vermilion? It's just a softer shade of crimson. I believe it would... Oh, forget it. This is your artistic vision, and I am but a meddler.
No, it's fine. Say what you want to say. It's good advice. I'll use vermilion. Thank you.
Well, I'd best be heading back.
Phew! Finally done. I think.
All finished?
Please don't look at it.
Everything looks a bit faded, doesn't it? Ironically, crimson may have been a better choice after all. The sense of distance on the petals is a little strange. Perhaps you should pay closer attention to such details as a preliminary sketch would do wonders. Still, forget my pedantic comments. You really do have potential. Bernadetta?
Oh, idiot! Hopeless! What's charged to burn the whole thing, Bernie? Your stupid brushes are never painted again!
Huh. Perhaps I should have kept my thoughts to myself.
Looking out toward Bridget, are you?
Yes. There are some times I cannot stop my thoughts from going home. It will be much time before I return. Bridget feels far away.
It is quite a long way. To say nothing of the sea that lies between here and there. Being unable to return must further add to the distance in your mind.
It is as you say. When I return to Bridget, I will be the new queen. I am wishing to help relations with the Empire.
I believe you will be successful. You may not be Lady Edelgard's equal, but you are resourceful enough to make an excellent queen. And unlike Lady Edelgard, you will not be forced to harden your heart.
Not Edelgard's equal. Is that what you are saying?
Understand that I mean no disrespect by this. But it is a fact that you are far beneath her. Make no mistake about what would happen if you were to raise your banner in revolt against her. She would crush you mercilessly.
That is not a difference of equality. It is a difference of power.
Even if our homelands were on equal footing, Lady Edelgard would still prevail.
I can see with clarity the difference between me and Lady Edelgard, but that has no matter. I would never lose.
How amusing. For your sake, you had better hope you are right.
Hubert, my boy, it's rather rare for the two of us to see one another with no one else around, isn't it?
Yes, I believe it is.
I was good friends with your father, you know. Perhaps this is fate, eh? Of course, when I left the Empire, I broke off my friendship with him. And, well, everyone else.
You were right to sever ties with such a miserable piece of filth.
Sharp words, Hubert. Contemptible though your father may be, he is still your father.
Don't overcomplicate it. I will not forgive him. Ever. Contemptible is just the right word for the wretch. Do you truly know what kind of man my father is?
I assume you're talking about the insurrection of the Seven. At the time, I was already at Garrett Mark. I know nothing more than hearsay. That said, I found it hard to believe that Lord Vestra would challenge the Emperor like that.
Yet that's exactly what he did. Since the dawn of the Adrestian Empire, House Vestra has served House Hresvelg as the Emperor's right hand. My father spat on a legacy of loyalty and devotion that had lasted 1100 years. He conspired with the ministers to usurp power from the Emperor and to Lady Adel.
In your father's defense, the Emperor was attempting to take power from the seven houses. The Emperor's reform was an attempt to concentrate power in the hands of the throne. The nobles put a stop to that. Emperor Ionius lost the ensuing power struggle.
Now it is the nobles' turn to suffer defeat. Lady Edelgard will be Emperor.
You hope she can cease this never-ending conflict? That's all.
Why am I having so much trouble fighting these tall guys? They're not even stronger than me. You've got to help me come up with a strategy, Linhardt.
Is that not a waste of time? Even if I handed you a perfect strategy, something I've done in the past, you'd never follow it through.
That's because your plans are always so complicated. But come on, I need your help.
Alright, I will share with you my tactical genius.
You already have a plan? Oh, you really are ready for anything. So, what is it?
Land the first hit. Then keep hitting them hard and fast as you can until they stop hitting you back.
So, you're basically telling me to just fight?
Dodge their attacks, keep up the assault, then go for the knees. Done.
The secret is the knees?
Being tall means short people are closer to your knees. Exploit the enemy's weakness, Gaspar.
Makes sense. That doesn't sound like my style, though. I don't really want to exploit a weakness.
Then go ahead and continue losing. Or you can listen to the rest of my plan.
There's more? Fine. Tell me the rest.
Your defense is careless. The last bit of my secret is that you need to train in that area.
I won't argue with training. Let's go.
No, I don't think we should.
Come on. You even got that height advantage you're always going on about. You're the perfect training partner for me. Quit stalling and let's go.
Fine, I'll train with you, but only for a bit.
All right, Leonard. Come at me again.
Gaspar, please. I need water. I need water. I'm gonna go get some.
Huh? Hey, get back here. He got away. How did you know Dorothea was an orphan?
I hear she buttered up some noble and he enrolled her in the academy.
Does someone like that even belong here?
I suggest ignoring them.
Lynn, don't scare me like that.
You seem less scared than surprised, but that's quibbling, I suppose. As for those two gossips, unimportant. I suggest forgetting all about them and their petty words. Join me for a meal. I've been the target of a lot of gossip, and eating generally makes me feel better.
Don't pretend we're the same. If I could brush it off so easily, I would.
It doesn't seem particularly difficult. Where's the problem? Is this about your pride?
No, not even a little bit.
What then?
Lynn, please just go away. I want to be alone right now.
That's fine. But your life is your own business. It's not something that can be affected by the petty words of a stranger. Sorry. I kept talking, didn't I? I'll stop now.
Please do.
Linhardt, I have been waiting for much time. Please, watch me.
Watch what, Petra? Whoa! Take careful with that spear!
How did you find that? I did more training.
Ah, you took my advice then. I will say the problematic maneuver seems improved at least.
At least? It is still no good?
The spear isn't really my area of expertise, but I've seen enough training to understand the mechanics. I believe I can use that understanding to further help you improve your spear work.
My spear work.
Right. As I said, when you lift up and stab down, the momentum is ruined. You're trying to swing like a giant. You're not a giant, so that's a problem. So allow the spear's own momentum to do more of the hard work for you.
Spear momentum.
The spear is heavy. When you lift it up high, loosen your grip a little.
At the top of my swing, loosen my grip. And then the weight will carry it down?
Precisely. When you put too much power into it, not only do you exhaust your grip, you tire yourself out. Got it?
You are very clever. I wonder why you have hatred for training.
Because training is too much like fighting, and I'd really rather not fight. Also, I find training terribly dull. Anyway, good night.
He does not use his cleverness. It is a very big waste. I want you to use your power, Linhart.
Now then, where is that book on dance?
Hello, Flame. I'm curious if you could confirm some suspicions I have.
Hello, Linhart. What is it?
I've recently been lost in study on the topic of Saint Setheline. You're familiar with her life, yes?
I know a little of her, as do many. But what does this have to do with me?
Interesting that you would ask that. Your question betrays your understanding of my inquiry.
I am quite certain that it does not, as a matter of fact.
I have interviewed several members of the Academy and the Monastery. All agree that you have trouble focusing on detail-oriented work. As I mentioned, I have been carefully researching Saint Setheline's history, and I found several intriguing anecdotes concerning her life. Granted, it is not stated explicitly in the text, but it is easy enough to read between the lines and get to the underlying truth. The authors of several tomes, all written within 50 years of Saint Setheline's passing, imply she found it difficult to maintain focus on detail-oriented tasks. Then, just this morning, as I was studying statues of Saint Setheline, I came to realize how similar her visage is to your own.
I do not appreciate your disrespectful approach to this topic.
No disrespect intended, I assure you. Saint Setheline is a major saint. I only mean to say that looking like her is an honor.
I actually meant that you are being disrespectful to Saint Setheline.
There was one other item.
If you must.
You are quite skilled in white magic, yes? My understanding is that you have a very high affinity for the art.
Yes, I do. I am glad of my abilities, for it is a way in which I am able to help others.
Indeed. Once more an echo of Saint Setheline. I'm so curious as to why such similarities exist. Her crest? Perhaps hereditary traits then? Or is it...
I am very busy searching for a book. I will be going now.
Ah, Linhart. Reading as studiously as ever, I see. Anything to do with crests?
Hello, Professor Hanneman. Actually, this book's about fishing.
I didn't realize you were interested in fishing. But I had heard that you were only interested in crests, to the exclusion of all else. As it were, I had rather thought I could train you as my successor, should we get to know one another better.
I'm sorry to betray your expectations. Truth be told, I've been thinking of giving up on my crest research.
What? Whatever for? Don't tell me you believe...
No, it's nothing to do with fishing. I adore the subject of crests. But to study them, you have to consult the people who bear them, right? I just don't have the energy for that.
It is an unavoidable hardship, I admit. The satisfaction of making a real breakthrough is second to none.
I'm sure the satisfaction of catching a fish is pretty great too.
Consider this, child. Luring fish from the depths pales in comparison to untangling the mysteries of a quest. Why? It all comes down to purpose. Purpose, I say.
Calm down. I get it. Really.
Evidently, you do not. You must have something to work toward in life. The ultimate goal of fishing is to eat the fish. The goal of solving the mysteries of crests is, well, you must find that for yourself. What do you hope to uncover once everything is finally explained? What motivates you?
I never thought about it like that. Perhaps if I did have a goal, I might share your enthusiasm on the subject. Bernadetta, if you have a moment, I would like to discuss what happened before.
My nemesis! The hour of fate arrives.
I am not here to hurt you. You need not even open the door. Just listen to me.
I don't have to open the door. Is this a truce? Okay, oh.
Thank you. I would like to apologize for sticking my nose into your business the way I did. I thought you might be unhappy all cooped up in there, and that maybe I could help. But I've had time to reflect on what you said, and I realize I was mistaken.
Oh, thanks for caring, but I'm fine actually.
I see that. I suppose that is what I'm trying to say. I should not have pushed you to do something that you did not wish to do. And for me to frighten you like that was unbecoming conduct for a noble.
Maybe a little bit.
Frankly, I am embarrassed by my behavior. I disgraced myself. As for my injury, you need not feel guilty or afraid. The sprain was a result of my own thoughtlessness, not anything you did. I have always strived to be a good person. But I suppose all that striving was for nothing. I have failed in my duty as a noble.
Ferdinand?
Yes, Bernadetta?
I don't really know much about this sort of thing. But you shouldn't say things like that about yourself. It wasn't all your fault, you know. I'm to blame too. I hurt you. And I'm sorry.
Really, it is fine. It healed quickly.
And it wasn't for nothing either.
I am not so sure.
I do like my time alone. Actually, it's more of a need. But you're right. I also need to venture out every once in a while. Maybe if I work as hard as you do, I can try it a little more.
Yes, keep working at it. You are already much more outgoing than you used to be.
When I mess up, or even when it's just a bad day, it's hard for me to step outside. I'm too scared. But the next day, I try again. Because I know that one mistake doesn't ruin everything. So you're still... I mean, just because you... That doesn't mean... I don't know how to put it. But that's how it is. So, the end.
What a graceful end to the conversation.
Hey! Come on, that was serious! Hello, Bern. Oh no, what did I do this time? Did I offend you? Is this your revenge?
No, not at all. I just want to talk.
If you promise not to resort to violence, I'll do whatever you want.
Bern, I've just been worried about you. That's all. When I said I was your friend, you ran away, saying something about your father. Remember?
Vaguely?
I know you've lived through some bad times. If you could tell me about it, maybe I could help?
Oh, I don't know.
Please. Your father's not here now. Whatever it is, you're safe to tell me.
All right. My parents told me never to befriend a commoner. They said commoners are scum, and that they'd crush any that tried to come near me.
found out about him. He disappeared the very next day. I heard he was found beaten half to death. I never saw him again. Since then, I've been terrified of making friends with anyone, commoners especially.
I never knew that kind of thing really happened. You hear stories, sure, but... Oh, Byrne, I'm so sorry. I'm proud to be your commoner friend. Hey now, relax. There's nothing to bawl about. If your dad tried to beat me up, I'd return the favor and then some.
Return the favor?
When I was in the opera, you better believe I had run-ins with the most wicked, terrible men. I survived kidnappings, attempted murders, all kinds of stuff. But you know what? I broke those guys' arms. Snap! It was a thank you for all the trouble they went through trying to hurt me.
You're incredible, Dorothea.
So, now that you know I can defend myself, can we be friends, Byrne?
All right. Yeah.
Petra, you seem to be flourishing in your new environment. Is all going well for you?
Lady Edelgard, everything is well with me. Thank you for your question. Everyone shows great kindness, even while I am still learning about the language.
I'm glad to hear it. After all, a Bridget Royal like yourself is of vital importance to the future of the Empire. If you ever need anything, please let me know. It's my job to watch out for you after all.
If that is your want, I will rely on you if I have the need. However, I will not have that need. I can resolve any problems that occur by myself.
I don't doubt it. Perhaps I'm worrying too much. I just don't know what I would say to your family if something were to happen to you.
Do not spend your worry on me. In Bridget, there is a phrase we say. You cannot shoot two birds with one arrow. Bridget and I are that second bird. Your first target is your ambition. Can you disagree?
There is certainly truth in your words. I do have ambitions that transcend all else for me. When I ascend the throne, there are certain things I must do. Tell me, Petra, who do you think I am?
Huh?
I will tell you. I am Edelgard von Hresvelg, and yes, I'm attempting to do what no one else can. I'm prepared to shoot 2 birds, or even 3, with a single arrow. That is the least of the impossible things I will accomplish. If you don't need my patronage, then prove it. Show me your power. Never settle for being the bird. Be the arrow instead.
I will take your words to my heart, and you will be seeing my power. I give you my promise.
Taking care of some weapon maintenance, Petra? You seem completely absorbed.
Yes, taking care of the weapons has great importance.
I cannot argue with that. That weapon there, is it from Bridget?
No, it is a weapon of Dagda. But the people of Bridget used them often.
Fascinating. I have read about the weapons of Dagda, but this is my first time seeing one in person.
Lots of weapons and fighting techniques came from Dagda to Bridget.
Ah, so Dagda to the west had a big influence on the Bridget archipelago. I am fascinated by foreign fighting techniques. Would you consider teaching me sometime?
I will. But it is difficult to explain fighting with words. We can try sparring, maybe?
Yes, a practical demonstration. I would be quite grateful.
Let's have our beginning then.
Perhaps we should stop there.
Oh? Do you think you have understanding of the fighting techniques from Dagda?
Yes. Now that I have experienced it firsthand. I used
to look down on foreign fighting styles, but I was clearly remiss. The footwork, the nimble way you shift your weight is extraordinary. I will have to remember those moves for the next time I am in battle. Clearly, you have honed your skills through practice. Your fist felt as sharp as a spear.
Bridget is stuck in between Dagda and Fodlan. It is of much importance to hone our fighting techniques. I am of the royal family, but I am a warrior before that. I must fight to live and to protect my home.
When the alliances of Bridget and Dagda encroached on the Empire, they were always driven back. But perhaps the Empire's victory was due to geographic advantage or divine intervention, rather than military superiority. Having met you, that is what I think. I cannot help but feel a little disgraced. I held foreign fighting styles in such low regard without ever seeing them for myself.
When I came to Fodlan, I felt disgraced for many things that I learned. But there is no disgrace in losing ignorance. We need to be learning and growing with each other, always.
Yes, by working together we can make progress. And both sides need to look ahead to the future.
Caspar, that equipment is new. It is suiting. It suits you.
Oh, right. Thanks.
You get more strength each day. I do not want to be falling behind.
I'm impressed with how much stronger you've gotten too. More than I have.
No, Caspar, you are impressing to me. I want to be training with you.
Just hold on, Petra.
What is wrong?
It's your attitude. How can you act so casual around me? My father killed your father. You shouldn't be able to stand the sight of me. You actually hate me, right? That's fine. I can take it. I completely understand. Just be honest. Give it to me straight. If our roles were reversed, I don't think I'd be able to forgive you. I don't understand how you could...
You are not the one who did the killing, Caspar. Our parents had conflict, but we are not them. I have no worry about it. You should not either.
I don't need to worry? Impossible. I don't think I'll ever be...
You must. If not, the conflict will keep carrying on. If children cannot forgive, it will not ever have an ending. Is that what you are wanting?
Well, of course not.
Please, give it some thinking. I will be leaving now. Shamir, you are training away from the ground of training.
Ah, Petra. Well, it looks like it might rain.
I have understanding. Rain training can cause unhealthiness. Can I give you a question now?
Sure.
You come from Dagda, I think. Why are you working at the monastery?
You can tell I'm from Dagda? Oh, I suppose Bridget is our neighbor. As for why I work here, that's simple. I work to live. Rhea took me in when I had nowhere else to go. I'm here to repay my debt. I don't plan to return to Dagda anytime soon.
But Fodlan is an enemy for you, right? Are you feeling okay about that?
The only ones I fought in person are the Imperial Army. I carry no ill will toward anyone else.
I have gratitude for your answering. You have given me understanding.
How about you? Do you hate them? The Empire is your father's enemy, no? And it's Dagda's fault that Bridget got pulled into the war at all. So, do you hate Dagda? Or do you see that as none of your concern?
The fault is not of Dagda. My father made his own choice to be joining the war. I cannot say I have no hatred for the Empire, but I do not have any for Edelgard. When I came here, she was always helping me.
Makes sense. You can hate a country without hating its people.
You speak with such honesty. It is very amazing.
I'm not that special. I just don't let emotions get in my way.
Dorothea, I want to be asking you a question. Oh, please do. Why have you come to Garrick Mach? Is your goal different from the rest?
Yes, I suppose. Everyone here is an heir or an heiress, but not me. I'm just a commoner. When I enrolled in the Officers' Academy, I was different than everyone else. I wanted to secure my future, and my big idea was to marry money. Ever since, I've been dating different, terribly well-to-do men, searching for a good one. So far, there's been no reason for a second date.
Marrying money? That is not sounding like a good idea. Money would be a bad husband.
Pretty much.
But you treat me well. I have so much gratitude. Well, why do you show me such friendliness when I am not money?
Oh, no, Petra. This isn't like that. I like spending time with friends. It's wonderful being friends with you. And I hope we can stay close for a long time to come.
Yes, I have that hope too. But I have also been thinking of who is good for me.
Oh, I see.
And still I am thinking we should be friends.
Oh, I know why. Because we're both trouble for Imperial nobility.
Yes, we both have troubles.
Feels nice, doesn't it? Knowing that together we can irritate that many people. Since we've already got a lot in common, let's get to know each other better.
Ah, what is that lovely smell? It seems to be coming from the training area.
You've met your match, Rust. Ah, so stubborn.
Good day to you, Ferdinand. You smell amazing. That is you I am smelling, is it not?
Flame, hello. Are you referring to the smell of this oil?
Aha! Yes, that is the smell, all right.
I am simply doing some armor maintenance. A little oil keeps the rust at bay, ensuring that the armor moves smoothly without any.
I see. I thought maybe you were doing some cooking. You smell a bit like food. But I suppose that is the oil tricking my nose.
I would not cook in the training area. Are you hungry by chance?
Not really, no. But is that oil not also used for cooking? For things like frying meat or drizzling over a nice crisp salad? Things of that. Were I to coat my armor in oil that smells of food, I would be distracted by hunger at all times.
I doubt that amidst actual fighting, the smell would still make you hungry. When you are in the thick of it, you devote all your focus and energy to the fight. There is no
I suppose you're right. And actually, all of this talk of delicious oil has made me hungry.
In that case, I will accompany you to the dining hall. I will be finished in a couple of minutes.
I must apologize, Ferdinand, but I cannot wait even a moment for you. I am famished. I shall be in the dining hall, getting my fill of fried goodies.
Well, that was quick. I will admit, now that she has mentioned it, it is a rather appetizing smell. Hey there, Flame. I thought I'd drop by and see if you'd care for a...
Now, just a moment, Sylvain. If you must speak with me, I implore you to do so from where you stand. My apologies if this comes across as rude, but please do not come any closer to me.
Excuse me?
I am sorry. My brother has explicitly warned me not to go near you.
Said that? I bet he also told you any woman who comes too close to me is, how does he say it, doomed to misfortune?
He used those very words. Is it true then?
Come on. He's just messing with you, obviously.
Of course I would prefer to believe that, but one can never know for certain. particularly when similar stories are constantly in circulation about you. I have heard that men and women alike have been seduced by your nefarious ways.
I hate to suggest my talents are being oversold, but
I have heard that you toy with people's emotions, like a cat toys with its prey.
do I really look like such a villain to you?
Well, perhaps not. You do not strike me as much of a charmer.
When you put it like that, I feel like I should defend. Yeah, forget it. Let's get to the actual point.
Did I not tell you, Sylvain? Stay away from me.
It's kind of awkward talking from so far away. Can I please step just a little?
Truly, there are countless terrible stories of your behavior. I've heard that you panic when there aren't women around to flirt with, that you've gone as far as flirting with horses and even chickens.
Oh, come on. Who would even... You should know that your brother has an overactive imagination.
I would like to believe that you are a sincere and reputable person, Sylvain. But there is no smoke without fire, or so the saying goes.
I may not be the most respectable fellow you'll ever meet, but
Until I can be certain, please refrain from coming too close to me. Now, if you will excuse me, I must be on my way.
Flame, wait, come back! And she's gone. All I was trying to do was deliver a message. Flame, hey! The professor said we need to come to the cathedral! I'll run really far ahead so you don't have to walk near me. There, I tried telling her. The professor can't be mad about that.
Hello, Professor Manuela. I wish you to know that I have heard ever so much about your talents.
Whatever are you talking about, Flame?
Singing! Why, you are wonderfully skilled at it, are you not? Why, I have even overheard people saying your voice is akin to the singing of a goddess.
It makes me happy to hear. But who told you that?
Oh, the students are always speaking of it, which got me to thinking, I may be the only person in all of the academy who's never heard your beautiful voice in song. So, I was wondering, Manuela, might you sing a little something for me?
Your request is touching, but I can't perform on such short notice. My voice is an instrument and requires proper gentle care. However, the stories are true. I was once the leader of the Middle Franc troupe, but that was a long time ago.
Middle Franc? What do those words mean precisely?
You've never heard of the Middle Franc troupe? It's the single most popular opera company in the imperial capital. I used to sing on stage with them. I was the star, in fact.
Oh, wow. In all of Enbar? Then,
You used to live in Enbar?
indeed. Although I was quite a bit younger at the time. It is where I was born, as a matter of fact.
Oh, well, you must have been too young to hear about us.
Yes, that could be. And what precisely is the function of an opera troupe?
You don't know what an opera troupe is? It's a group of performers like myself who act out stories on stage in front of a big audience. Stories with lots of singing.
I understand now. I certainly have experience in the fine art of storytelling. There is often singing as a part of story time for the children of the monastery.
That is darling, Flame. But I'm not sure it's quite the same thing as an opera. You see, operas are performed in grand theaters with orchestral accompaniment. Everyone attending wears their finest. It is a very special occasion.
Theaters, they're called? You mean to say that there are buildings exclusively used for telling stories?
You've never even heard of a theater? You're an intelligent girl, Flame, and the world is full of wonders. You have a lot left to discover. Professor Manuela, that song you were humming. I feel as though I've heard it before, and I'm sure it was you singing it back then.
At the Opera House in the Imperial Capital, perhaps.
Why, yes. You must have seen me there. I'm flattered you would remember it. I performed with the Middle Franc Opera Company in Enbar on numerous occasions.
So it was you. I went to that performance with my uncle. I wanted desperately to see it again. But after that night, he took me to seek asylum in the kingdom. When I returned to the Empire several years later, you had already retired.
Oh, that's a shame. So you only got to hear me sing once?
Sadly, that's correct.
Yet you still remember it, even the melody of the song I sang.
That's how much of an impression your voice left on me. I must ask, why did you retire so soon? You could have continued for another 10 or 20 years.
Indeed, many singers perform for decades. But that wasn't for me. I wanted to go out on top. My voice is a gift from the goddess. However, as all things do, it will decline with age. One day, I will lose that gift. And so I decided I needed to learn to survive without it, long before that day came. I needed to prove to myself that I can live on, even after my voice returns to the goddess.
So despite your belief in the goddess, you wish to live by your own strength?
It's hard for me to explain. The goddess supports me both spiritually and emotionally. Everything else is up to me. Oh, my head. Why am I here instead of the infirmary? When did I... Oh boy.
How are you feeling, Professor Manuela?
Sylvain? What do you need at this hour?
You don't remember? Well, you collapsed in the infirmary, and...
That doesn't sound like me. Wait, no, I remember. The truth is, something sad happened.
Anyway, I found you passed out on the floor, helped you up, then carried you back here.
And what were you doing in the infirmary late at night? Not bringing a girl there, I hope.
Nope, I was definitely alone. I just had a bad feeling, and I decided to look around to see if anyone needed my help.
Oh, my poor head.
Are you all right? Here, have some water.
What a thoughtful young man you are. You're a real gentleman, compared to that jerk who just...
That good-for-nothing guy who strung you along, whispered sweet nothings in your ear, then shattered your heart beyond repair? I agree. He's a jerk.
Oh no. Did I say those things to you?
Actually, your version had more details. Very detailed details.
Oh dear.
You know, Professor, you're a good catch. It's a shame that you've had no luck with men. You need a guy like me. Somebody who sees your beauty and appreciates how tender you are. Emotional.
You're a smooth talker, even when you don't mean what you say. I'm going to change, so shoot, okay?
Sure. I can take a hint. Rest up, Manuela.
Thank you, Sylvain. I'm going to try and get some sleep. Did he just call me Manuela and not Professor? That sly little... Although... Me? With Sylvain? Now there's a crazy thought.
Caspar, I've been wondering something. Would you be happier if you were the heir to House Burgleys?
Of course. My brother probably wouldn't be too happy about it, though. I've got nothing against him, and I'd hate to cause him trouble, so I guess it wouldn't make me very happy at all.
You may not want to hear this, but your brother is not a good man. He's lazy and greedy,
and has always relied on the knowledge that he would inherit a title. That's my impression of him, anyway.
You don't hold anything back, do you? But to be honest, you're not too far off. He's got good reason for it, though. Our grandfather was really obsessed with his second wife. She has a son named Randolph who she really wanted to become the heir. In the end, though, my grandfather had to step down sooner than expected, so everything went to my father instead. My brother is still really worried about having his future taken from him.
That's the price of taking your own desires into account when choosing an heir. The concept of nobility is decaying, and it's dragging the Empire into the ground with it.
Wow, this conversation is really going there. You mean...
It must. I intend to create a world where the best are free to rise to the top and succeed, regardless of their bloodline. The nobility as it is now could not exist in a world like that. I'll make sure of it.
What do you think would happen to me in that kind of world? Would you appoint me as a general or minister of military affairs?
If you were the best suited for that position, I would.
Right, so my life would pretty much stay the same. I'd still have to train, get stronger, and use my abilities to cut my own path. I don't know what I'm gonna do after we graduate. I guess I'll just have to fight for you.
Is that so?
At the base, the front lines, or wherever we might be fighting, I'll be there with all my might.
My princess is lovely. My princess is fair. She sings like cicadas in midsummer's air.
Cicadas? Those noisy little bugs that swarm about, endlessly mingling with one another?
Oh, good point. I will revise. My princess is lovely. My princess is fair. She sings like a swallow in midsummer's air.
Migrating birds, never sticking around for long, always off to find love somewhere else.
Oh, no, what I meant was...
Oh, Ferdinand, you're just not yourself today. You don't seem focused. Your poetry lacks poetry. Perhaps a break is in order.
I would not dream of stopping now. This is my golden opportunity.
Pardon me?
We are finally alone. Just the two of us.
Why, yes, we are, aren't we?
You see, Manuela, I have long admired you.
Is that a fact?
I saw you perform countless times while you were with the opera company.
Oh, I see. So what did you think?
The figure you cut, that heartbreaking voice, I was mesmerized. That is why I am tongue-tied. I am nervous about speaking to you alone.
There's no need to be nervous, Ferdinand. That songstress you recall is long gone. I get nervous too, you know. But I want you to feel relaxed around me. Understood?
Yes, yes, I promise to try.
You're really full of surprises, you know that? I assumed you'd be more interested in combat than the arts. Come and chat sometime? I'd love to hear more about how my performances mesmerized you.
Professor Manuela, it's been far too long since we've had a proper chat. Let's fix that right now.
Too true, Dorothea. We hardly have a moment to spare here. But it's so nice to see you flourishing. It certainly brings back memories. You know, somehow you've gotten even prettier. The years have been kind to you.
That's something like a rose telling a daisy it's pretty, but I appreciate the compliment all the same.
Oh, honey, if that's the case, I hope you'll work hard to never become a rose like me. Too many thorns.
Oh, stop it. You've accomplished a great deal. You should be proud.
That's a very nice sentiment, and I appreciate it. Thank you. So, I've been dying to know, how did you come to be enrolled here? I know you didn't have any family connections. How'd you do it?
Well, it did require pulling some noble strings. But learning everything to pass the entrance exams, that was all me, especially while I was still singing for the opera. But I wanted the academy more than anything else.
Well, bravo and well done. You've always had to find your own way in life, haven't you? I so wish you could rely on people more often. Still, though, you haven't said why you worked so hard to get into Garrick Mock to begin with.
Isn't it obvious? Because you were here. When you retired, it broke my heart. But it also woke me up. Seeing someone like you who shines so brightly on the stage give it all up and start a brand new life. It got me thinking about my own future and what I wanted it to look like. As ever,
Oh my. I don't know what to say.
I had also heard that the heirs to the Alliance, Empire, and the Kingdom were all enrolling this year. With such an exceptional crop of potential spouses, how could I go anywhere else?
And have you gotten what you are after? Your dreams, a future, and a good partner?
I'm sure I'll find my somebody someday, but I haven't found them yet. It's so nice to spend time with you again, Manuela. It's been too long.
Manuela, isn't it a bit rude to sigh at someone the moment you see them enter the room?
Hanneman, isn't it a bit rude to tell others how to behave? Besides, I could be sighing about any number of things more interesting than you.
Goodness, you're unusually irritable today. Don't you imagine your attitude a bit excessive? You snap at every little thing, your ill mood on display for one and all. It saddens me to see such behavior from one who should be setting a good example for the younger generation.
Well, listen to the noble lecturing a lowly commoner to be on her best behavior. Oh, wait, I meant to say the former noble.
I fail to understand how my birth is relevant to the topic at hand. I was merely trying to say that as a fellow adult.
You're not done lecturing yet? Leave me alone and go pester someone else. Maybe leave everyone alone and go focus on your precious crest research.
I don't know what to say to you, Manuela. I was only...
Oh, was that a sigh I heard? Isn't it a bit rude to sigh at someone just because?
Don't be so childish. You are so sensitive to ill will from others, yet you let your own emotions run wild. Why is it that you cannot keep a handle on yourself?
Keep a handle on? Well, I've never. What makes you think you're so much better? Just because you keep your emotions bottled up behind your stupid stony face, well, it doesn't mean everyone else has to do the same. Stop telling everyone how to behave, Hanneman. It will make you and the rest of us much happier.
I will not stand for this insolence. It is high time someone taught you.
Go on. If you think you can change me, I'd like to see you try. Ha! Thought so. You wouldn't dare.
Absolutely insufferable.
You're in high spirits today, Dorothea. Yes, I have met someone quite charming recently. I'm hoping we can spend more time together soon.
Well, I wish you the best of luck. I wish I had some advice to offer. Alas, I do not.
Don't worry too much about it, Adie. I guess romance isn't really something you're interested in anyway.
I'm not completely disinterested.
Oh yeah? Is there someone you have your eye on?
To be honest, there's nothing resembling romance in my life at present. It's not that I'm disinterested. I'm simply too busy with other endeavors. I have no time to spare for such things.
That's not surprising. You're not just any old noble after all. Anyone who has feelings for you, well, they're in for a pretty complicated life.
True. And I can't ignore the possibility that I may have to marry for political purposes. I doubt I'll ever have the opportunity for a passionate romance as long as I live.
Well, that's no way to talk. You meet the right person and boom, you have passion to spare. Could be someone you've just met or someone you've known your whole life. There's no telling how life will go. Something could even spark between the two of us.
You and I? Now that is an entertaining thought. If such an exciting future is in store, I look forward to it.
Oh yeah? That's awfully sweet of you, Adie.
What is on my agenda for this afternoon?
Professor Hen, may I have a moment of your time?
Ah, it's you. Very well. I am quite busy, but if you are here to discuss my crest research, I would be happy to oblige.
I'll pass on that offer. I'm just hoping you'll explain something to me.
Oh, I doubt if I have anything of particular interest to share.
Why did you abandon your noble standing in the Empire? And don't say it was for your crest research. There are institutes for that within the Empire. You could easily have remained a noble and still been able to visit Garrick Mach, or request the cooperation of the Church.
Certainly that was an option, but I desired a better research environment. Treasures and holy artifacts reside here that cannot be examined by someone outside the Church. I required access to those things, no matter the cost.
But surely your noble status would have allowed you greater funding and resources. Even secrets of the Kingdom and the Alliance would have been easier to obtain as a noble of the Empire.
What you say is true. I cannot deny that. Both paths have advantages and disadvantages.
I see you're unwilling to be forthcoming on that topic.
I don't know what you mean.
I've heard that you used to enthusiastically research crests for the Empire. You abandoned the Empire, yet retained your focus on crest research. I just wanted to know why.
I feel your suspicions of me are unwarranted. I haven't the time now, but perhaps I will tell you more if the opportunity arises.
Caspar, I have been waiting.
Ferdinand, waiting for what?
I am going to give you a lesson on the righteous path of the noble.
Righteous path? What? You have a problem with my path now? You think you're more righteous than me?
That remains to be seen. I heard you stopped a robbery in town the other day. Some despicable thief who was robbing an elderly shopkeeper. Rumor has it you didn't wreak as much havoc as usual.
Hey now, I think you're underestimating me here. When the thief showed up, the old shopkeeper was so scared that he could barely stand. I didn't want the guy to pass out, so I had to stay calm while handling the situation. Rather than fighting, I gave my own money to the thief and told him to get out of there. Or else.
How, magnanimous of you.
The thief fell for it and left the shop. That's when I chased him down. I got my money back and gave that thief a good beating. He won't be back here anytime soon.
Ah, so you walloped the scoundrel. That does sound like you. I am finding this story more plausible.
Nevertheless,
Hold on. Now it's your turn. I heard a very interesting story about you recently.
My turn, eh? Let's hear this story then.
The way I heard it, you punched a foreign soldier right in the middle of town.
Stop. I know what you are getting at. But you have the wrong idea.
Let's hear your version then.
I had been browsing for weapons at a rundown stall. Suddenly, a man seized the stall's owner and started dragging him away. Someone with a less generous spirit might say the peddler had it coming. His wares were quite inferior after all. But without a moment's hesitation, I leapt to his aid and soundly defeated the goon.
Well done. Sounds exciting.
It was nothing, really. Anyway, the old shopkeeper let me in on the details. He said that he was a novice trader, tricked by a noble into selling low-quality goods. That ruse was about to come to light, so the noble had sent a mercenary to keep the shopkeeper silent.
So that's what really happened. I just heard you snapped and attacked some noble servant. I figured it was worth asking about.
Well, I won't deny it. I forgot my rank for a moment and let my instincts take over.
Is there something wrong with that? It sounds a little like something I would do.
And your, gentle approach to handling that robbery. That sounds like something I might do. You were not overcome by your impulses. You kept a cool head. For the most part.
I think we're starting to rub off on each other. Always looking for a way to defend justice and to lift each other up.
Partners in justice, eh? Well now, that I can agree to. Ah, you have arrived at just the right time. Care for one of these handmade treats?
My goodness, Ferdy. When did you become such a talented confectioner?
Oh, Dorothea, I am hardly an expert.
Nevertheless, you have managed to make some tasty-looking treats.
Well, it is the first time I have tried my hand at it. Honestly, there were several unsuccessful attempts preceding this batch. I made these pastries to solve that riddle you gave me. The reason...
Oh?
You said I was like a bee. The bee is a dutiful worker, just as I am. But the bee inherits a capacious home, with a wealth of honey. Similarly, I inherited my fortune. I did not receive it as a reward for my labor. I surmise that perhaps you feel differently about me if I earned something all on my own. That was my plan. To emulate your transformation from desperate pauper to successful songstress.
All on your own? Did you renounce your nobility? Give away your riches?
No, I made these. I obtained all the ingredients on my own, without anyone's help.
You mean you got the sugar and the flour?
Yes. To earn the flour, I worked in the fields. To earn the sugar, I carried a merchant's wares.
Who did the cooking? You?
Naturally. I took on some extra chores in exchange for use of the kitchen at night.
I have to admit, that's impressive. Hey, it looks like you had a bit of an accident. Is your head...
I burned myself a little while I was baking. Nothing to worry about.
Nonsense. That burn will scar you, know. Come on, let's get you to the infirmary.
Wait, Dorothea! You have yet to try my treats.
You should be fine now, Ferdy. Big shot nobles have to treat their bodies with care just like the rest of us.
There you go again. Noble this, noble that. Though you did say it with less disdain than usual.
Nothing gets past you. As it were, I may have reconsidered you a little.
You have reconsidered me? Finally! Just as I had hoped, we are becoming friends.
I only said I reconsidered a little. And you still haven't figured out why I said you're like a bee. Which is funny, because you look like a bee right now. Bye!
So, I am still a bee. A completely mystified bee.
bothering me. I kind of feel like you act more casually around me than you do with other people.
Casually? I don't know what you mean.
I just feel like you're always asking me to do things that might make other people uncomfortable. Like when you act not very flirty toward me like you are with the other guys. You seem weirdly comfortable around me.
You pay more attention than I would have thought. Hey, are you interested in me? You know, interested.
What? No, it just seemed weird, and I was curious.
I'm kidding. It's true that I do find you quite a convenient little helper at times. It's like you're... how to put it?
Ugh, really? That's not exactly a compliment.
No, but it's true. And now that I've thought about it, I like the whole idea. Why don't you try calling me Big Sis and see how it feels?
No, that's not gonna happen.
Why not?
I'm embarrassed just thinking about it.
Oh, come on. It's just a goof. You can manage it at least once, can't you? Please? Oh, I know. If you do it, I'll stop using you for my chores. How's that sound?
That's an enticing offer. Fine. Once. Thanks, sis.
Well done, Caspar. You're such a cute little boy. I'm proud to have you as a sibling.
I'm not cute, and I'm not little. How would you feel if I made you call me Big Bro?
Oh? Well, I wouldn't mind that at all. Big bro. Is something wrong, big bro?
Oh, this is the worst. Hey, Shamir. Your archery skills were amazing the other day. I couldn't believe it when you hit all those bullseyes. Not a single miss.
It was nothing.
No way. It was incredible. You were incredible. You gotta teach me how to shoot.
Maybe.
That sounds like a yes to me. Are you free tomorrow?
Maybe. No promises, though.
Come on, Shamir. Don't be like that. Wait. Is this because you don't think I'm good enough? Oh, that can't be it.
It's nothing personal. As someone born in Dagda, I'm not very fond of the Empire.
Dagda. Where is... Oh! You mean where they had that war with the Empire a few years back? The country west of Fodlan. Across the ocean. That Dagda?
That Dagda. But that is behind us.
I had no idea. I understand why you'd hate the Empire so much, though. My father was a major general in that war. He led an entire army. If I were you, I definitely wouldn't want to train the son of someone who killed all those Dagdans.
You misunderstand. I harbor no ill will toward your generation.
Huh? Well, then what does this have to do with you teaching me how to shoot?
I simply have other commitments. I don't have the time to teach everyone, so I can't make any promises.
That's your reason? You're just too busy? I thought you hated me. I guess I had nothing to worry about. In that case, let's leave all that Dagda and Empire stuff in the past.
Ah, Dorothea. What are you doing here?
I was actually waiting to see you.
Were you going to invite me out to dinner? I accept.
Yes, I was. I don't think it would be so bad to share a meal with you from time to time.
How about tonight? I'm busy tomorrow.
That's fine by me. What are you busy with, I wonder? Girls? And more girls?
Isn't it an unwritten rule not to ask about such things? But what a curious turn of events. Have you perhaps got an ulterior motive?
No ulterior motives. If you're worried, we can just pretend this conversation never happened.
No, wait! That's not what I meant. I just don't understand why you want my company now, when you've always been so cold to me. Have you perhaps fallen in love with me?
My stomach just got queasy. You know what?
Maybe I'll eat on my own after all.
Fine, fine, I get it. You want someone to chase your loneliness away.
Something like that, yes. If you don't want to, I'll ask someone else.
Don't dream of it. It would be my pleasure, milady. And to be clear, the reason you chose to spend time with me is my family, yes? Or is it my crest? Both. I'm just curious about such things. Say I was a commoner. Would you still have invited me to dinner?
Is this really necessary for a simple dinner invitation? Actually, I have a question of my own. Say I was a hoarse-voiced old hag. Would you still be flirting with me? Would you still...
That's a difficult question. I have nothing against mature women, but...
Even if you were an old man, I still would have invited you out. If you were a former noble exiled from his family, or an orphan from the streets, my heart cares not. Just kidding. I just wanted to try saying it. Of course it's better that you have money.
You little... Yeah, that's probably true. So, Dorothea, about that dinner?
It would be an honor to have you join me tonight. And let's not talk about things like this over dinner, okay?
Even if I was an old man or an orphan, huh?
Time to relax.
Professor Hanneman, do you have a moment to talk?
Of course, Miss Dorothea. Whatever is on your mind.
I heard you were once a member of the nobility, and you surrendered your title to come here.
Indeed, I was a noble once. Why are you so curious about that?
I knew there was something noble about your speech and your perfect manners. You're always impeccably dressed, too, and you have a certain pride about you. What interests me is that you threw it all away. Why?
I threw nothing away, child. In fact, by stepping away from its trappings, in my heart I feel closer than ever to the true meaning of nobility.
How so?
Consider this. At its inception, the concept of nobility assumed that the greatest among the populace would rise to power. In my mind, I believe that means those who value knowledge, those who strive for more and wish to protect and guide their fellow man. However, in practice, nobility often serves to keep those deemed commoners down, segregated from those who, by chance, were born to a noble family. That is one of the reasons I decided to leave that nonsense behind and dedicate myself to the study of crests. Though I have abandoned my position, in my mind it was to pursue what I consider to be a truly noble pursuit. That...
I see. Well, you're definitely a noble in that sense of the word. To pursue such admirable ideas without regard for your social position. How wonderful.
Pardon?
Oh, it's nothing. I was just very moved by your words.
Ah, well, I'm quite pleased to hear you say so.